Hey y'all!
Happy Tuesday. It's totally Tuesday. It's time for our manifestation oracle reading. Yay! Check in to see how our manifestations are coming. I don't know if you guys ever sometimes my manifestations fall off my radar, which is good because you kind of need to let them go and surrender them. But then sometimes I'm like, oh no, have I surrendered too much and just forgotten all about it? But according to much of energetic thought and philosophy, once you really get clear on something and put it out into the universe, the order has been taken, right? And so when you release and surrender and get busy doing something else and just kind of forget about it and let the chips fall where they may and let the pieces fall into place, I think that's the best kind of energy to be in. But then you also want to, at the same time, mysticism is always a paradox, stay focused and take consistent action when you are divinely inspired from the inside. So I recently just went back through my manifestation list that I had made for the year, and I was pretty encouraged because even though I haven't hit my ultimate goals, I'm well on my way, and at least they're being worked on, and they're not just sitting and gathering dust on the list. So I was happy about that. And maybe you guys would benefit from doing the same. Also, really funny, this woman came into work tonight that I had worked with on a bunch of things over the years, in film. And so I don't know if any of you are here and you don't know me. I'm Liz. I used to work in TV, film, and video production until recently. And I just wanted to take a hiatus or do something else or take time out. So I have been working at this nice restaurant at night, and this woman came in, and one of the servers was like, hey, this woman knows you over at this table. So I went over there, and she's like, I almost didn't recognize you. I'm just so used to just seeing you running around all crazy and sweaty in a t-shirt or a tank top. I'm still crazy and sweaty. I'm just in a better shirt now. This is my legacy. I am crazy and sweaty, and I will be remembered in my career as wearing a tank top or a t-shirt, which is what you have to wear when you're making films. It's all laborious and everything. So I was actually, one of the things I was excited about in this new job was that I could wear more cuter outfits and look cuter at work, unrecognizably so apparently. So well, our first card is Mother Healing, which is not a surprise because when we had our last lunation reading, which was the full moon reading, I think we had, or if it wasn't that reading, we had one come up recently that was talking about parent healing. And I remember being exacerbated and just groaning and being like, I'm so sick of parent healing. But I actually, I was doing some self-help work earlier today. I was working in the To Be Magnetic workshops, and I was just doing a daily practice exercise about reinforcing deservingness and abundance. And that sort of triggered all of these weird, deep subconscious memories that I just my older brother and his friends and my other older half brother, and how they were all just really mean to me growing up and kind of scary. And I was a scared, very nervous, very just isolated, lonely, frightened child most of the time. And I felt like people were just kind of mean to me, and I just felt very I don't know, just kind of on my own. And so all that stuff was coming up, and I was thinking about my parents and everything this morning, and I really hadn't intended to get into all that, and it wasn't even anything that I was on the forefront of my mind, but it was just all coming up from the subconscious, which is great when you can just tap into the subconscious like that. And for me, a lot of times it'll happen if I'm doing big cleaning projects and things like that, but And sometimes it escapes me when I'm sitting down to do like a meditation, or in these cases, they're like these, they're meditations, but they're like designed to help you reprogram your subconscious. So they're very guided, and they're very like you're participating within them, but yeah, neither here nor there. So yes, mother healing. Mother wounds have to do, they affect your livelihood because they tie into your self-worth. And so if you have an unhealed mother wound, you might have fluctuations in your finances, or you might have struggles in your career or making money. And so those are interrelated. And if if your manifestation has to do with your career and livelihood, then you may benefit from doing healing with, your mother wound. And I mean, everyone has a mother wound. Like, you might have had a wonderful mother who was excellent, who, did mostly everything right, but it doesn't matter, because when we're like little kids, things are, we interpret things differently than adults do, and everything is really like magnified and intense for like little children. So things are very galvanizing, when you're that between 0 and 7, more so than sometimes when you're an adult and you're more, when you have more perspective and stuff. So it's, everyone can benefit from mother healing. And I know, like, it's not the funnest stuff to do, but it makes such a big difference, and it really does like have such a fast and drastic effect on your life. I know that, like, when I have these big realizations come up around those big, deep, like soul assignments, like the family stuff, and all of that kind of thing, like, immediately something big in my life will come through after that, after I've released it, and I can feel like the difference, the way I feel, the way I think. I can literally feel lighter physically. It's crazy. So the card says, as your feelings toward your mother heal, your desires manifest more rapidly and accurately. And I think that's true, as I've been doing this To Be Magnetic work this year, and just like trying to heal the inner child and correct that trauma and like reprogram all of those subconscious patterns. I've noticed that I have had, I've just been more content and more satisfied, and the things that I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't say that the things that I want have changed, but I just feel more like secure and chill. And so I think that when you feel chill and secure, and you feel like you have everything that you want and need, you don't feel like you're grasping or searching for anything outside of you as much. It's not that like we never stop feeling that way. It's just that it just happens less and less, and you notice it when it does happen even more. Heaven's help. Accept heaven's help. You've prayed for help, so get out of the way and let heaven help you. So yeah, I guess there are helpers behind the scenes that are pushing my phone off the back of the couch. I have this like precariously rigged on like a stack of journals and my herbal encyclopedia, and I feel like I'm being all weird, but like my eyes feel all weird because I put too many eye drops in tonight, and now they feel like all like they have glitter or something underneath them. So like I have sandpaper eyes. Accept heaven's help. So yeah, I guess in this situation, with your manifestations, be sure and start praying out loud to your angels, to God, to beingness, to the creator. I like to, work directly with Jesus a lot with things. And then like, your angels, your guardian angels, and the archangels that are all, have their own specialties and categories. But yeah, so when you enlist the help of spirit, you have a whole team, an army of, helpers behind the scenes that are working on your behalf and supporting you and pulling strings. And you just never know what's possible, when the universe gets to work. And it can't intervene if you don't ask, because all of your spiritual helpers, as much as they're on the sidelines cheering you on and thinking like, hey, like trying to give you like, you know, signs and like messages and stuff, like, can you hear us? You know, they can't intervene unless we ask for their help. But if we do ask for their help, then you'll notice in your life, like things just start happening, and it's like magic. My mom told me a story yesterday, I think, when I talked to her, and she said that she had prayed that like God would get rid of these particular weeds in her front yard, because when they cut the grass, like it makes her skin burn really bad in her eyes, because she has some kind of weird allergy to like some kind of weed that started to grow into the yard, and it's only been like a recent thing. And so she was like, Elizabeth, I tell you what, like a couple of days later, Greg was out there putting weed feed all out in the yard, and like, you know, had like a whole big contraption helping him like spread the weed and feed. And she was like, I mean, I just thought it was going to be some kind of miracle. I never thought it could be Greg just going out and putting the wheat and feed out there. And I'm thinking like, yeah, that's how magic works. Like you put in the order and then the universe uses the path of least resistance. Like it doesn't have to be parting the Red Seas like every time. Like just because we know or we can figure out the ingredients to a cake doesn't make the cake less good or less magic, right? So that's how I describe magic and miracles, just because we might be able to figure out how they happen with like a mundane explanation. It doesn't mean that it wasn't a chain of events that might have been started by your initial request. All right. What else do we need to know that will help us get closer to achieving our manifestation, or calling it in, or getting more and more clarity around it? What can we avoid? Ooh. Set your sights higher. Oh, okay, cool. Increase your standards and expect more for yourself. Don't settle. Okay, this is perfect, because in the to-be magnetic work, the tests that come once you set your desired manifestation and you declare that, you will have tests that will show up that will tempt you to settle for something that's almost like what you want, but it's not exactly what you want, right? So in dating, you may have, for instance, you want to call in a partner, and you have a list of qualities of like non-negotiable things that you want in a partner. And then you might have deal breakers that are just like, I cannot deal with that. Like, this is a deal breaker for me. Like, I will not date anyone that is like this again. And so you have these yays and nays that you want and do not want, right? And so once you have sort of declared that to the universe, that you're calling in like the big partner, the big soulmate or whatever, or the next serious relationship, the universe will send you tests to tempt you to see if you'll settle for less than what you deserve. And it's testing your worth. In Kabbalah, we would refer to that as the vessel. Like if you have to earn the vessel, and that means that you have to build your self-worth enough to where you have the self-control to pass on something that's not what you're asking for. You know, it might be very close, but maybe no dice. So maybe you get asked out by someone who is like a high value person. Maybe they have like cool things going on for themselves, and maybe they have a lot of qualities that are really, really great, but you're just not like quite attracted to them. Or maybe they're like, they don't live in town and you don't want to have like an out of town relationship, or they're, you know, you're looking for something serious, but like they're everything on your list, but they are not, they are only looking for casual dating. Like all of these are tests, and you have to be like, nope, I'm sorry, I will not settle for less than what I'm trying to call in. And so like a job, you know, might be a situation where you are looking for like a job that has, you know, a certain kind of like environment when you go to work, or you only want to work certain hours, or, you know, you have these certain deal breakers. Well, if you're getting these offers that are tempting you, but something in you feels like you're settling, or like that you are you'd feel bad if somebody knew the truth, and like someone would judge you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't feel like 100% like, yeah, I'm all in, like, I'm sure and certain of this, right? Like, for instance, when I found my job that I have now, my serving job, I was not looking for a serving job, but I was looking for, when I wanted to leave film, I was looking for something that would be more consistent, but that would give me even more money and freedom. And it's like, it was hard to imagine for people because a lot of people wanted me to just go get like a 9-to-5, and like, there's no growth in a 9-to-5, especially if you're like entry level at like my point. I'm like, I don't have any passion in a 9-to-5 world. And so I was just like, people kept pushing me to like go do these like jobs that just weren't me. And I was like, no, I don't know what I want to do for a while, but I know it's not this. And then when I started hearing about this particular restaurant that I work at, it was through my nephew and his wife. It was literally like every single thing on my list that I wanted. It was like, it was somewhere close to where I lived and convenient with parking. Worked very few hours a day. You know, I had my days open to do all my stuff. I could like pick up more shifts and make as much money as I want to, as much as energy, as much energy as I had. And then I would be making more than I already made every day. And so, yeah, so that was like one of those things where it was like, yes, across the board, definitely. There was no questions asked, but I had to turn down a lot of things leading up to that and stand my ground. Like, I lost the relationship I was in because I did not settle for like some fucking desk job answering phones. Like, that's great for, you know, other people if that's what you're doing. But like for some people, like I cannot do that. A lot of people can't do what I'm doing right now. Like, their nervous system wouldn't like it. So I just knew that wasn't for me. But sometimes, like, the universe isn't coddling us like with our little baby bottles. Sometimes we have to be brave, and sometimes we have to be strong and tough. And that means sometimes we have to take a hit, and we have to be true to ourselves. Sometimes that means that someone's going to dump us. Sometimes that means that we get fired. Sometimes that means that we quit or that we walk away. You know, it's not always like cupcakes and rainbows. Sometimes we have to do something difficult. But if you do it and you make that decision, you can build the life that you want. I have built the life that I want. I have like almost everything around me that I want. And the way that I like to live and the way that I like to live my day to day. But I made decisions that created a life that reflected that. And I did not do what everyone expected of me and go get the 9-to-5 desk job, which would not allow me the life that I want. Do you know what I mean? So you can't let other people's influence you. You can't ask for permission, and you can't be looking for validation from other people. You have to know what you want. You have to make the decisions to set that system in place for yourself, and then you have to like go out and get it and say no to what is not what you're really calling in. Do not settle. And when you tell the universe, like, hey, I'm not settling and I will keep this void open for the right peg to fill it, then it will be like, oh, okay, yeah, they're serious. So, you know, that means that the manifestation is closer. So when you set out and you set these manifestations and then you're passing these tests, you might hit a period called, according to Be Magnetic, they coined this phrase, the magic dark, where all of a sudden everything just stops. It's like crickets. You're not getting like small manifestations coming through. All the signs are kind of drying up. It just feels like everything, you've run out of magic. It feels like, wow, there's not like radio silence, right? And basically what that is the tsunami, like the tidal wave that's pulling back, and it's really quiet, but it's coming for you, right? So you just can't short circuit during the magic dark. You've got to continue passing tests so that your manifestation will come through. But don't settle. Keep that void open, right? So that the good thing can come in. Okay, so, and then we had 3 more cards that were kind of together. So I'm just going to read them off. Treasure chest, an unforeseen windfall of new abundance is coming to you now. Okay, so we're in the magic dark, maybe. maybe the wave is coming, right? The treasure chest. So it's what we just talked about. Set your sights high, don't settle, and the wave of manifestation is coming through. Playtime. The dolphins know the importance of playing as joy creates miracles and manifestations. That's right. So we were just talking about earlier, set your intention very clearly. Do what you need to take like consistent small steps towards that and follow divinely inspired guidance, but mostly like just let go and have fun and play, because the higher vibration that you are in and the more that you're having fun and the more you're feeling good, like the less resistance that you are having, right? And the higher vibe you are, the more magnetic and the more you're attracting like things that match that vibration, because you're attracting things that have affinity of form with you, right? So playtime, go have fun, go play. I can't wait. I'm gonna play tomorrow. It's another my other day off. And helpful person. So we had helpful heaven. So we have spiritual help and people that will help you. Someone wants to help you. Think of whom that might be and initiate contact. So initiate heaven's help, trying to hook you up with the person that wants to help you. Pray that heaven will help you every step of the way. Like, be like, hey, heaven, like, you can be my experts. I will take all of your help every step of the way, all the communication, all the guidance, all the friendship, all the fun, all the jokes, just not at my expense. And also lead me to the people who will help me, lead me to the connections that are going to open doors, that are going to help me find the people that need me to help them, you know? So really enlist people around you, vocalize what you're putting out into the world, what you're calling in. Be careful not to talk about it around negative Nancy's are going to drag your mood down or whatever about it. But make it known, that way people know, like, oh, hey, I'll hook you up with this person, they're into that, or I know someone that does this and they can make a call for, you know what I mean? So be putting it out there, out into the universe. When you declare something that you want to do and that you want to come true for you, it's really vulnerable, because you're like, well, if I say it and it doesn't happen, then everybody knows that I failed. And it sucks. But you know what? Nobody cares. Like, everybody's too busy, like, being self-absorbed and, like, failing themselves. We're all so busy. It's just been so crazy. No one cares about you. Everybody loves you. No one cares about you. So it doesn't really matter. You'll fail in obscurity. No one will remember. I want to grow my channel. I want to get my channel officially all this stuff. And I need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So you guys like my video and subscribe to my channel and comment on the video below and share it where people share videos, and talk about it with your community and save it for your memories. Take more actions on people's videos and content if you're out there looking at people's content, because the actions taken on the content is what gets the pieces of video and photos and whatnot out in the algorithms. And it's a big help for the people who are making the content. It's like a very, very, very small exchange. It's just almost, it's even less than a thank you. So it just helps so much. It is you wouldn't believe how big of a difference it makes when you have a little bit of activity on a post, and then it really gets it out there to a lot more people. I literally had just a few more people liking and commenting a couple of weeks ago, and my numbers jumped I think a couple of tens of thousands of more exposure, not tens of thousands of views, but I was being exposed to more traffic than I was before. Or at least I was, when you have all the videos cumulatively together adding up. So that's me putting out my manifestation, into the open and exposing myself to ridicule and shame and humiliation and disaster. But I think it's going to be all right. I like doing this either way, so fuck it. Hopefully it'll work out, and if it doesn't, I will die a failed mystic in obscurity. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys, I am crazy. I'm insane. I'm tired. And I'm going to start winding down for the night and get super excited about my day off tomorrow. All right. Hope you have a good one. Ciao.